Good evening, peeps. I'm Ariel Grace, and this is a spiritual show. Yep, and we're talking about toxicity. Ha! So, yes, that's what we're talking about. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do to clear it, right? Help people and ourselves and the environment. All right, but before we do, I do have some announcements that I want to make. And one, I'm psychic, not telepathic, and clearing with purpose. You can see them back there. Back there. The Kindle version is on sale this week for 99 cents. So if you haven't gotten it, go over to Amazon. Just hop, skip, and jump on over there and check it out because those books can assist you. And a lot of what's in there, those books, is kind of like what we're talking about tonight, too. So check it out. I'm Psychic, Not Telepathic, and Clearing with Purpose, the Goon Cooties book. They're 99 cents each on the Kindle, all right, or on your Kindle app. All right. So we're going to be talking about toxicity tonight. And one of the things that I do to help people overcome some of the habits that they have, help them learn how to use their inner guidance or connect to their inner guidance and trust it is I also book accountability sessions. The accountability sessions will assist you with breaking old habits, that they will assist you with your intuition, and they will also help you, with tools so that you can clear clear out all your goo and cooties, right? And you can assist others with clearing out their goo and cooties. So check it out. It is the accountability sessions. It's on my website at arielgrace.net. You can book your appointment with me. All right. So um, I am running the automatic writing class on 316, which is this Saturday. But in order to attend this class, you need to send me an RSVP. All right. So send your RSVP to a gang of girls inc at gmail.com. We're going to be talking about spirit guides and angels, who they are, what they are to you. And we're going to be doing the automatic writing meditation. And then we'll have a discussion afterwards. Everything is going to be recorded. So the people that attend the class will be able to review the recording. Okay? All right. And you can RSVP me at a gang of girls inc at gmail.com. There will be only 5 people per class. I'm doing this class on the 16th and I think on the 30th. All right? Okay. So the other thing too is some of you have been to the Sacred Tools page on my website. That's the jewelry page. You're like, where's the PayPal buttons? I don't know what PayPal did with the PayPal buttons. I'm still looking for them. So until I do, if you want to buy jewelry, you're gonna have to email me so I can send you an invoice because I was just like, hey, where'd they go? So I'm gonna check in with PayPal again today or this week and see if I can get some PayPal buttons up. All right. I don't know what's going on with PayPal. Anyway, so we're talking about toxicity tonight. And I I had a long think about this because I've been trying to stay really positive with these shows. But I think talking about toxicity um, is actually a positive move. That way, too, um, for those of you who are going to be watching tonight, you'll have some red flags and some advice, and you'll understand a little bit about it so that it empowers you. Okay. Okay. So, toxicity is the quality or state of being toxic. such as a relative degree of being poisonous. So, a relative degree of being poisonous. So, we don't want any of that in our environments, right? So, we're going to talk about environmental stuff first, and then we're going to go into people. Ah, so, um, environments. How can we help our environments? We can do small things to help our environment. We can we can help the earth by learning about like our soil. What does it need to replenish itself? What how can we get it to back up to a place where we can grow stuff that doesn't have toxins in it? And sometimes it takes a while to clean the soil. It does. For example, like when I lived in Colorado, my house was built on like schist, like rocks. It was, in fact, they had to use dynamite before they put the foundations down for my house on the piece of land because it was just all rock, right? And I wanted a garden. I really did. So we rocked up an area on the side of the house. It was very the rock wall was really cool. And then we brought in dirt from a dried up pond and llama poop and hay. And we filled the whole area and it was a huge area. And every day I went out there and I turned that soil. I turned the soil because I wanted to mix it all in and I wanted the soil to be rich because I was going to grow vegetables in this garden. And I also wanted part of it, a third of it, to be flowers. And so that's what I did like the whole month of March, rain, snow. I was out there like turning that soil. And so it ended up being great soil. I didn't have to do a lot more to it. I didn't have to add a lot of stuff to it except that. So that's one way of growing a garden is you can have raised beds and you can put in whatever soil you feel is good for you. Okay, I felt like that was good for me because it was right there and we could get it easily. And um, llama poop is actually not hot, so you don't have to wait a long time to use it. So if you use like horse manure or like what a chicken manure, it's hot and it can burn your plants. Something for you to know about. Okay, so that's how I did, and I had a beautiful garden. I did, and I really didn't have to do much more to it. Like I said, people would stop on the road to see my hollyhocks. They would stop on the road to see like all the flowers blooming. They would drive up the driveway so they could walk through my flower garden, and it was just lovely. And it helped to raise the resonance one for me because it's all I could see there was really pretty flowers. And then like other people would come and walk on my boardwalks and look at my garden and it would help them, you know. So try that. Other thing that you can do too is if you have friends that also have gardens, like I had daylilies that were plant in a whole bunch in a small area, but once I pulled them out and separated the bulbs, I was able to plant the daylilies all over the place, and they just flourished and bloomed. And I had friends too that had gardens, and we all like shared plants. And so that's something that you can do as well in your area. Find out what is good, what grows well in your area. Okay. So many people talk about the earth being toxic. I hear about it all the time. The earth's toxic. And I always tell people, well, what you doing about it? Hey, Bonnie, what are you doing about this toxic earth? How can you make it non-toxic? So there are a lot of really good things that you could do now. There's paint that is natural paint, there's carpets that are natural carpets, there's wood flooring. People are becoming more aware. But you can do little things too, like you can use less paper products. Okay. I don't use paper napkins or paper towels. I just don't. I can't. I can't do it. Even though I hate doing laundry, uh, I I have cloth napkins and dish towels. That's what I use. Um, and the reason why I do that is because I have seen what paper mills do to environments. Yeah, they kill everything in the environment. So um, try that. Instead of buying big jugs of laundry detergent, buy the pods instead. Throw those pods in there. There are other types of natural detergents. I've seen commercials for them. You just throw them in the laundry and they dissolve. They come to you in recycled paper envelopes. So, recycling, repurposing, reinventing, and reusing are the things that we can do for our environment that help us and the environment. It makes it less toxic, right? So, try to do those little things, picking up trash, recycling. Try it because when we do that, also we are setting examples for other people as well. All right. And that way, too, people that are allergic to things like I don't like carpet, it makes me sneeze. I always tell people I'm allergic to carpet because it makes me sneeze. And so it's something in the carpet. I think it's the glue or something. I don't know. Anyway, get really sneezy. So, something to think about as you're building houses, buying houses, or redoing your houses. Look for those things that are less toxic and less toxic for the environment outside. One of the things that you can do that's really cool is salt rock lamps. Light If you buy salt rock lamps, you can light them up, and when they're heated, they push out negative ions. Negative ions are great for the air because it cleans the air. So that is a natural way you can clean the air in your homes. And it helps with smells too. I used to put a salt rock lamp in one of my son's rooms. He had really smelly like shoes and socks and stuff. And I put that salt rock lamp in his room and I said, keep it on 24 hours. He had it on for a week when we first got it, and the stinky boy smell left his room. Hey, Iris. So that's one thing that you can do that's natural, that won't hurt you, and it's beautiful as well. All right. Small things help the environment. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to strip your house or anything like that. Just do these small things to help the environment. Okay. So now we're going to talk about toxic people. Yep. Because toxic and toxicity seems to be the new word. People are using it a lot. I'm just like, okay, well, we'll go with that. But I call them energetic vampires. Toxic people, energetic vampires, same thing. All right. So usually these kinds of people have low self-esteem and they act out for attention. They're unpleasant. They have negative personalities. They're clingy, desperate, abusive. Yeah, there you go, Bonnie. Let's see, they're manipulative, malicious, they're disrespectful, selfish, self centered, they self harm. And my most favorite one, the martyrs. Yep, sounds like a couple of ghosts that I've gotten rid of, but yes. Yeah. All right. So, when someone who's difficult and causes a lot of conflict in your life, you may be dealing with a toxic person or an energetic vampire. So these people can create lots of stress and unpleasantness. Like everybody, when that person usually walks in the room, everybody's like, oh God, yikes. So it can get to a place where they're mentally and physically and emotionally abusive. We don't want to get to that place, right? No. So a person who acts this way is usually suffering from low self-esteem, and um, they probably learned it. So a lot of habits that we learn are from childhood. So if we grow up in an environment that's, you know, cruddy, that is what influences us. Those are habits that we create. And so then when we get older, we have to recreate ourselves. But so when we look at these people, wrapping them up in pink blankets to help them is good, but not giving them a lot of attention, right? We don't want to give them attention because we don't want them to keep acting like that. Like a 3-year-old, when a 3-year-old has a temper tantrum, what do? We say, all right, you're going to have that temper tantrum? Fine. I used to just walk over my kids and ignore them. Say, when you're done, let me know. And, usually in about 3 seconds, because we're not paying attention to them, they get up and they're fine. Well, when we have these types of people, if we do not give them our attention, a lot of times they will look for attention elsewhere because they're adults now. So they've learned some tricks, right? So sometimes they have mental illness, and we may have to refer them to a doctor. And sometimes that's what they need. They need assistance breaking habits, and also they might have a chemical imbalance in their brain, and they may need medical assistance. Okay. So don't think that you can take on the mountain yourself. Remember, there's so many people out there that can help with people that have mental illness. All right. Okay. So when we are around people that are toxic, we want to make sure that they know we're not going to give them a lot of attention, right? And spread the word too. Make sure that other people know as well, not to give them a lot of attention so they don't act out and they're not malicious and jerks. So we want to make sure of that because toxic relationships run in families. You know, we can see them if we look at our families. We go, oh, there it is. I know, I have a family like that. Oh, okay. I'm not going to give you that much attention. We're cool. So it brings on really unhealthy dynamics. People fight. It's bad. And so sometimes we just need to step back and go, okay, I'm not participating in this. I need to remove myself from this so I can live a healthy life. And it's okay for you to do that. Sometimes the lesson for the person that is toxic is for everyone to remove themselves so that they can have a good look at themselves and say, why? Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. And the lesson is for them to learn how to be not toxic, right? Okay. So everyone has moments of being a little bit selfish, a little bit like, this is mine, this is my space. That is not being toxic. That's setting up boundaries. So remember to look at the two things. You are not hurting somebody by taking for yourself, your own things, your own space. That is not toxic. That is empowerment and that is taking care of you. Self centered people don't even take care of themselves. All right. So sometimes you just need to walk away. Even if it seems like the hardest thing that you can do, you need to walk away so that they can learn how not to be that way. All right. And it's hard and it can be heartbreaking. But in the end, they may thank you. And it might take a while for them to thank you. And it's okay. It is. So um, I talk to a lot of people about love. And that love is a burden and that it's toxic, that blah, 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 all kinds of stuff. And love is not a burden. It should never be a burden. It should be given freely, easily, and effortlessly. It is not something that we desperately cling to. It's not that. All right. So we can have friendships that are great. We might have friends that are kind of clingy and we need to kind of set up boundaries with them. You know, we can have coffee with you. Okay. But after that, I got things to do. And setting up those really good boundaries with them can assist them with not being so clingy. Okay. But there are some relationships, and this happens on in all ages, like from teenagers to like 60, 70-year olds. They're desperate for love. Desperation is toxicity. When you are desperate for love, there is something that is empty within you. You have not recognized that love that you should have for yourself. And so these people can drive you crazy. I know they drive me crazy. But toxic love, that Romeo and Juliet kind of weird energy love, that's crazy. Um, that is, and this can happen for families too, that um, toxic love. It's not just romantic. So it can involve physical, mental, and emotional abuse. It can involve manipulation, emotional blackmail, shame, and control over other potentially harmful behaviors. So I've seen people you know, take overdose. Um, I've I've seen them cut their wrists. All kinds of craziness happen because of their desperation. One of the things that we can really do is just let them know, hey, if you just love yourself, take care of yourself, there won't be this feeling of abandonment and desperation there. It's just, you know, and you can help them by just encouraging them to do things for themselves, not because of someone else. So here's an example of toxic love or a person that is representing toxic love. So I have a client and she fell in love in high school, and then her sweetie went to college, and she got really depressed and she wouldn't do anything. She would stay in her room. She lived with her family. She would stay in her room and wouldn't do anything. She went to work as a waitress. She didn't apply for college. And so she's like, when he came home for Christmas, she was all excited. It was all great. And at Christmas time, he told her, he said, hey, I'm in college. You decided not to go to college. I want to have this experience. So I think we should break up. So she really went into depression really bad. We finally got her a little bit out of the depression, and she applied for a job at one of the airlines and got the job as a flight attendant. And she had to go to flight attendant school because they have to have that training and stuff. And then she found out her sweetie came back for the summertime to visit with his family, and she quit because she wanted to make sure to be available for him if he called her. So she missed that huge opportunity, and and then we had to pick her up off the floor again because he didn't call. And so she ended up joining this twin flames cult thingy, and she got worse. And so now we're pulling her up from there too. She had to go see she's seeing a counselor, she's getting medicine, and she's seeing me twice a month to help bring her back up. We want, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because when we see people that are like this, showing them things that are outside of that clingy desperation, showing them positive things can really help them overcome this. Now, some people have abandonment issues as well. And so we need to help them with that. Like, let them know they're not alone. You're not alone. No one is alone. And when we hear a heartbreaking story like this, we need to like look at the person, their lessons in this lifetime, what they need to learn, and also what habits do they need to break? How can they love themselves enough to where they can have that self-esteem back and see that it is everywhere. Love is everywhere. And it doesn't have to happen a certain way or with a certain person. Okay. So these are all like little toxic things. And I just I feel like there's more of this now than ever. And there's so many people on the planet. And I would just want to say this for those of you that are looking for a person or um, a husband or a wife, a spouse, there are plenty of ways to find a husband, wife, or spouse. Okay. And it's not just going to the bars. There are other ways. And I have actually hooked up several people with what do you call those? The matchmakers, and it worked for them. Sometimes you might have to do that, and that is not being desperate. That's actually helping yourself. That's actually saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to work with this matchmaker because I want a certain person, and this matchmaker may have that person for me, or other, or more than one. So love doesn't have to come a certain way, but you actually do have to put energy into it. When you love yourself and you're taking care of yourself, you have to put energy into yourself. So why wouldn't you put energy into your family or something that you are trying to manifest, right? So we want to do that. Please, please don't be so desperate that you hurt yourself. You don't need to hurt yourself. That is not love. And that is not a good way of getting attention to get love. It's not. It's manipulative and wrong. So if you check somebody out doing that, give them the finger shake and have a little talking to them. Okay. All right. Okay. So when we are out and about and we're doing our thing, remember to look for the signs, look for those red flags, watch for them, watch for how you feel around people. Make sure so that to make sure that you're maintaining your energy and you're not reacting to them. Okay. Because that's what they want. They want a reaction. It's like, oh, okay. So remember to keep your energy field clear. And every day, I don't care what time during the day, pull your energy back to you from wherever you've visited, whoever you've talked to. because we leave little energy footprints everywhere. And we want to make sure we pull all of that back to ourselves so that we don't feel drained and we feel centered and grounded, right? So we pull all that back to our core, all right? And that is empowering. That gives us strength to go out into the world every day and do our thing, is by maintaining our energy. Okay. So when we maintain our energy like that too, energy vampires don't like us. They look at us and go, oh, not getting anything from them. And they keep going because they see that we're empowered and they see that we're not going to put up with their baloney. All right. So um, remember to step into your disco ball every day. Remember to keep that disco ball all around you. And even though you're stepping in your disco ball, it doesn't mean that you can't sense things, that your clairvoyance is off or anything. You can still sense things. It's just a great way of protecting yourself from energies that do not serve you. Right? So we want to do that and be aware again of how you interact with people and react to people. Be aware of that. It's empowering. Do not give your power away. All right. You can always use the centering and balancing meditation on my website. In fact, any of the meditations on my website. Somebody asked me if they had to pay for them. I'm like, no, they're on the website. They're there. Go to my website, arielgrace.net, click on the meditation tab, and scroll down. They're all right there for you to use. They're not fancy, but they are meditations to assist you. Okay. All right. So, remember, if you're making any big moves, if you have changed anything big in your life, having a cutting ceremony is like a really good thing to do. It also assists with clearing. It clears out the old so that you can bring in the new. All right. So be truthful with yourself. Really, be truthful with yourself. When you feel something that does not feel right to you, does not feel good to you, you meet a person that is just, you feel kind of icky around, be truthful with yourself. Because as healers, as people that are compassionate and loving, we want to help people. But sometimes we just don't have it to help them, except to point them in a different direction. And so that is the best thing that we can do for them and us. And it isn't selfish. We are not martyrs. We're here to assist people. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's it for tonight. I think if you have any questions, Iris, Bonnie, if for those others that are watching this video tonight, please like the video. Like it. Because every time you like it, other people can see it. I have to remind myself to do that. It helps the algorithm gods. They say, oh, check it out. All right. So have an awesome week. Have a wonderful week. Remember to stay safe with this crazy weather, okay? Okay. Remember, keep your hearts open and align with the energy of love. And I'll see you next week. Bye.